learned to an election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming in on August 14th, 2020, and the stock market summer is over. Tomorrow, we are entering the end of this week, the second week of August, and, well, pretty much summer is wrapping up. We're seeing some developments, everything from the election to bonds, the dollar, a lot of stuff, even earnings. We played a lot of earnings, so I hope you guys are ready. A lot of things are developing as far as wrapping up the week tomorrow. I think it's going to be a Froggy Friday. We got a few plays, a few big earnings. We actually did pretty well on some of the ones that we purchased. We actually made a decent amount of plays. A lot of the ones we talked about yesterday, some that we played for earnings. So there is a lot to go over. We got the keys. I got the plays, everything that happened today, and then what we are looking for tomorrow. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, tomorrow is Bring a Friend to Cult Day. So be on your best behavior because we need to show people how the cult operates. And, you know, it's just, there's going to be a lot of Kool-Aid. Bring your own Kool-Aid. And we just, you know, keep it positive and respectful. I love all of you guys. Thank you. And the most important thing you need to do, post or watch this below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything. Post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad. So right off the bat, the first thing to give you one of these 3-word titles, continuations, bonds, and banks. That's what we saw today. You saw this overall continuation of the rotation. So maybe I should have put rotation instead, but we've been talking about this, the balance between the NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P, and I hope you guys are paying attention because all throughout the week, you've been watching them interchange which one's closing green and red, and you're kind of seeing it come to fruition. Even today, a lot of things were moving really, really wild. The NASDAQ was leading at one point, but then it barely closed up, and then we're barely down pretty much the same amount that the NASDAQ closed up. So remember from yesterday, the continuation of all of this. This means that the NASDAQ is around those Monday levels from where we opened at this week, and if the Dow outperformed yesterday, and then the S&P and Dow are just slightly down, so you're kind of getting an idea of how everything's moving. So that's the first thing. The next thing, bonds, and even throughout today, it kind of started a big move. I mean, I didn't really see this coming, but there was like a bond auction, and apparently that was what killed things. We were even ironically looking at TLT at the same time. Even throughout this day, you could see TLT just really start to plummet. There's a bond auction, so depending on the demand for that bond auction, it'll change the yields, because depending on if there's higher low demand for a bond, that changes if it yields higher or lower. So then the S&P started selling off on that. It seems like there wasn't any other action or any other news that coincided with that, so that could have been the main reason why we dropped. But then finally you got some of the other banks, and I'm just going to be watching that and what that means for the rotation and where they're at and kind of where they fall in line with everything with the dollar, bonds, and all that. But you didn't really see any big action until that auction, but the rotation just fell in line with what it was kind of supposed to do. At some point in the day, it wasn't really like that. But like we're saying, now, end of summer, you're halfway through August, the election is going to start heating up. Even the questions you're going to see asked by reporters, we started seeing that now. Joe Biden and Kamala, the jokes by Donald Trump, he's going to start making jabs at the presidential candidates. So this is going to start heating things up, and I think you're going to start to see things move. And as people start to come back to the market, volume, volatility, or just a little bit more action and movement might start to come back. So get ready, and let's see what that does to option prices. But I hope you're ready for the final quarter. And then finally, tomorrow, like I'm saying, I think it's going to be a Froggy Friday. I think there's going to be big money in the news drop dailies. So some of these contracts that are going to expire tomorrow, we played some of them today. If it's big news and you guys see companies that aren't supposed to move, or if there's like buyouts, and it's just a weird marketplace right now. And on top of it, we've just been seeing a lot of this weird news in some of these pops. So there's the opportunities there. Otherwise, I would look for time and frogs and just control the budget. But we'll see here, because again, some of these plays, if the rotation is going to continue, remember, you're going to have an eyeball on next week. So pretty much watch for news and rotations. That will be the main thing I'm watching. But I think it should be exciting as far as individual companies. So keep in mind, and that's something to even draw from all these rotations. When the market rotates, you could even watch the whole market kind of move, but then other companies will have bigger individual moves on themselves. So get ready to find some frogs tomorrow. But that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, actually, we made a few different plays. We did a bunch on the small account you just saw here. I want to go over this play. This was the craziest play. We made about 700% in a minute. So Viacom, I bought 100 of these daily, and this is what I meant by those news drop dailies. So throughout the day, and it's kind of good that they're up here. So these expire tomorrow. But what happened, Apple, the market started moving, and then Apple started moving, and then there was news that Apple was doing some sort of deal with like CBS or CNBC or something, and then Viacom started shooting up. It was related to it. Someone called it out. I think it was Romeo. But then I went to the option chain. I was like, wow, well, it was showing 2 cents on the ask, and I showed everybody on this. I put a limit order. It's not like it was a market order and I had to rush to get it. No, I saw the news. We caught it very, very early. So I was able to grab it at 2 cents and I got 100 of them. So even though it expired, the idea was, well, they're really, really cheap. It's very, very easy when it's cheap to get your initial investment back. So I was like, well, I'll buy 100 of them. Got them at 2 cents. I got filled. We snaked the chain. Again, you could watch our video, how I beat the market maker. This is one of those instances. We got that, and then you could see here at 12:46, within the same minute, so literally within the same 60 seconds, I already got rid of 4 of the contracts at 15 cents. And then about like 1 minute later or 2 minutes later, they're going for 20 cents. So I start selling like 40, 50 at a time. Pretty much, I got rid of them anywhere between 15 cents, 20 cents, and then some at 12, and then the final 15 at 10. But then actually I'm holding 19 left. So made it all free. Made about $1,000 off a $200 investment in about 3 minutes tops. But a big bulk of it happened in 60 seconds. So now it's up. There's news to this play. Watch if that continues. Again, watch if this even gets news tomorrow and it freaks out. But watch some of these froggers. I'm still in that. But that was a cool play. But very risky. Again, none of this is a recommendation. Even trying this strategy, you have to understand the risks with this. So that's why I'd rather you guys see it, because these contracts shot up 700%. But now they're worth 2-3 cents again. And by the end of tomorrow, even with the stock going up, they're probably going to expire worthless, because who would pay me money to buy Viacom at $29 a share by the end of tomorrow if they're at $26.75? So be careful with those plays. But that was the first play we made. And then as far as the rest today, I got the Johnson & Johnson the September 18th, and there was actually news. It's ironically enough, I told you they're related to the virus and all that. They popped up, then came down. They got news that the UK is like doing a deal with like 200 million doses. But I grabbed 10 of these September 165s at 18 cents, spent $180. Not too bad, but not also the best either. So I got those. Then I ghetto spreaded the Tesla. Remember, we bought that 3,400 yesterday for 350. I shorted sell contract the 3,500 at 650. I got 100% back profit with a $10,000 difference. It's super out the money, so we're good. And then I grabbed a Square next week, 175.33 cents, because again, in line with some of the banks and finance stocks, they were doing a lot better. So those were all of the plays today on this account. But now also for the small account, actually before we get there, I'll even tell you the 3 plays I'm looking at tomorrow, because these are the ones we did on the small account. I grabbed Baidu and Propel, or Purple Mattresses. We called it Propel. Tomorrow, I'm going to want McDonald's in HD. Watch them again, just value stock rotation, both next week, and if they do start to frog tomorrow, these could go crazy. I'll even put a secondary runner-up with like Facebook and Boeing. Boeing might surprise. We're going to see. Remember, I talked about them post-earnings. Just don't forget about them and what they kind of do a week or two after earnings, so just keep your eye on that. But these are the ones I'm going to be really looking for. Both these two had big moves. You guys have seen the continuations. We've profited more off of continuations this quarter than any of the other earnings, like the actual earnings hits. So that's kind of a little bit different than what we were used to. So keep that in mind and play that to your advantage. But those are the plays I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. Again, here's the small one, and these are the ones we're going to be holding. We got a Propel next week. So it's a little bit of time. I got a $15 put, and the best part about this, I spent $10 on this, so that's why I did it on the small account. And I said I was pretty impressed. You guys will see. This account only has $300 in it. We deposit, do our thing every month, but I still got $100. But I made 3 different plays on this account this week. Remember, we got the McDonald's for $12. We got this one at $10, so this one should hit for us. But then we also have the Baidu 95 put. I spent another $15 there too. So fact, I got exposure to like 3 different plays with spending $30. I mean, it's about 30% of the budget. So if you do that, you could do kind of 3 plays a week, but you could also see the quality of these. And thankfully, to our earnings, one's a continuation. But those are those play. I think they're going to move tomorrow in general. Again, the ones with time are going to be good to play the continuations. It all depends what we have in store tomorrow. As far as everything else, watch Micron. I like them. They started dropping again. I brought up the chip makers yesterday. They all started moving. Pretty much everything from the watch list yesterday had some level of move. It's actually very interesting. I liked it. But keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on Boeing, like we said. Watch Disney. Remember, I had those 134s. They were worth some money today. I mean, watch them. If they do go crazy, Disney would be good. But just pay attention to how it's rotated in the mix of the last few days. Remember, it's traded a little bit different than some of your tech movers and anything of that. But watch Facebook. They're doing pretty good. They recovered a little bit. But also Twitter. And watch for them with the type of news. If there's any social media news, again, if election stuff starts to pick up, I think they might get some news again. We'll see for Friday. Watch Uber and Lyft. They both got movements. I think something happened with Lyft in their cash burn, but they're both getting killed. I want these for the long term, so I'm waiting, but maybe we could even play some of the short terms here. I have some of those old weeklies, but if I'm not making money on them and they expire, that means there might be some other. We're about to lose like $200. That was the earnings play on there. So you can see the earnings continuations coming to fruition if you had a little bit more time. So we'll see, but I'm going to watch those. Watch Apple again. They've just been killing it, leading with the all-time highs. I forgot there's something specific with them today. I forgot. Oh, and even Micron, Intel was getting into their business. There's something about Apple. I'm forgetting, but keep an eye on them. And then finally, TLT, clap. Give it some time. This is what I told you guys yesterday, even with UUP. Just watch out for the periods that, there could be a lot of theta burn. It doesn't have to make a move, but it could kind of stay in a range. We have to see what happens with TLT, even bond rates, mortgages. But this is a pretty wild move. I'm sure a lot of people are very, very shocked so far. So we will watch how this plays out. But watch them. And then finally, SLV. They're just moving up a lot. There's a lot of volatility in the commodities. We talked about this. Keep an eye on it. But maybe Friday with some crazy commodity news, who knows? But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need to ask you what you're gonna do with it, baby. Don't tell me what you got. Don't tell me what you had. Tell me what you did with it, baby. And how are you using your time? You got a lot of time. Focus, be smart, but balance the budget. You've seen the small account. You've seen the big accounts. Focus. It's 2020. You don't have to force it. There's power in patience and waiting. But the code loves you. I love you. I'm gonna see you in the morning. Let's go.